Andrew Harris, and I grew up in Morganton, North Carolina. Whenever I was growing up there, I grew up down at the base of the Jonas Ridge. So I grew up living out in the woods, just off of the Wilson Creek Wilderness, and everything, like all day long, was after school was done and homework was done, was traipsing through the woods, through the deer paths, and playing in the creek and that kind of thing. So I had a good childhood, and I didn't know how poor we were, really. Mom and Dad took really good care of us, and me and my sister. And we never really wanted for anything, though we didn't grow up with a lot of stuff. I'm sure we had some rough patches where Mom and Dad shielded us from a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, life was just like every other kid's life. You know, you get up, you get ready, you go to school, you do your schoolwork, you come back home, you play, play with friends or something like that. So I mean, very normal life, doing my schoolwork and playing with my friends, playing Nintendo, that kind of thing, just having a good time. I lived there in Morganton until I was 15, in which time my dad took a job at another school down in the Piedmont in Rowan County at this little, well, this is still a little school, but it was a little bit bigger than the ones we were at a school called Rockwell Christian School. And at that point, I started to realize that I was Appalachian. Because, just things were different, not terribly different. We were still in a rural community. We still did a lot of the same kind of thing, but you miss the mountain not being there. That's the only way I can describe it, is you realize that this place is flat. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, when you look up, there are clouds. There's not this great big mountain for you to look at. So that's when I first started to realize I missed the mountains. And my last 3 years of high school were good years. They were very formative years. I had some great teachers, my dad included, and had an okay time. But my sense of place had been altered. I mean, as it will be with any kid who moves when he's 15, and leaves every friend he ever knew and the places he knew to go someplace new. It's just the way it's going to be, for anybody. Then I went to college in Florida, and that's even more flat, and the mountains are even farther away. And so I guess I really started to get a sense of what it meant to, as one of my friends from Whittier, North Carolina, has said before, to have the mountain in you. I graduated from the college there in Florida. I wanted to go and work in Orlando for like Disney or Universal or something like that. I thought that was a good first job in the industry. I didn't really want to go to Los Angeles or New York because there's too much competition. So I was just going to go to some sort of small venue and start and get some experience before I tried to go somewhere. But I needed a little more experience. So I decided to get my master's because I had a really great private instructor at the college there. And I ended up teaching. You can't really get away with it anymore, but at the time you get away with what was called a graduate teaching assistantship, where you, as a graduate student, you were teaching freshmen. And so I got to do that, and I just loved teaching. And I was like, I might want to do this. I had just gotten married. I got married right after college, like the June after I graduated. And so it was stable, and acting work and until you're at least a second tier level actor or actress, is not stable work. So I liked the stability. I enjoyed teaching, and I could perform on our little local academic stage, which is really all I needed. I enjoyed doing it. I didn't want I didn't need fame or anything. So, yeah, I decided, let's just do this teaching thing. And then I had done some PR work for the college, and so they started throwing these PR classes at me, and I'm like, I have no idea how to teach this. So I started getting further training in communication, and then I stopped doing acting as teaching in a job transition. I just became a communication professor, and I spent 5 years in Minnesota teaching and communication and really learning how to do that well. And then the job opened up here at Cedarville in Ohio, and I just love it here. So love the students and love my church community. It's good. I like it here. I think what people don't understand is there's not one Appalachia. There's Appalachias. I would say I'm Appalachian now. In a lot of ways, I carry a lot of the traits of an Appalachian. But you know what I called myself whenever I was growing up? An American, right? You don't see yourself as being from a particular region until you step out of that region. I think that's the way it is for anybody, really. We went over to Chillicothe, and there's a gorge out there that's one of the state parks, and it was beautiful, and it was nice to be around some cliffs and stuff. But they look different. Everything's sedimentary rock around here, and you know, back home everything's granite, and so it's not the same. You know, there's one particular mountain that defines Appalachia for me, because I've been up the thing every year of my childhood, practically, multiple times. You know, Table Rock is Appalachia to me. There's a very specific Appalachia that is my Appalachia, and that's not anybody else's, that is hard to interpret to people who haven't lived where I've lived and seen the things that I've seen.